Right, I'm just going to say it. If a large language model can spit out a half-decent architecture diagram faster than you can open Visio, we need to have a serious conversation about what architects actually do for a living. I'm Dan Murphy, this is TalkTechToMe. Let's get into it. Now, a lot of people are asking, will AI replace architects? And honestly, I think that's the wrong question to be asking. The better question is, which parts do we still think are uniquely ours? Because AI isn't coming for architects, it's coming for the lazy version of an architect. The one who hides behind documents that nobody ever reads, governance boards that nobody ever cares about. I do a lot of technical architecture. I also do some solution enterprise and solution architecture as well. And today I want to talk about what's actually changing in the role. Speed has changed everything. Let's start with the obvious one. The speed at which we can design and build things has gone through the roof. AI can now help produce architecture options, patterns, code scaffolding, documentation, threat models, test cases, migration plans. Things that used to take days can now get a solid draft done in just a couple of minutes. And look, that's brilliant, but the brutal truth is more option doesn't mean better decision. Faster options can actually mean poor design at scale. It just means that you can make a mess quicker than you normally could. Architects are spending less time generating first drafts and more waste time validating, refining, and making actual trade-offs. AI compresses the time to produce architecture artifacts, but it does not compress the architectural judgment. Now, get comfortable with that idea because it's going to be the whole ballgame from now on. Cost is now also architecture. Here's one thing that doesn't get talked about enough. Cost. Clouds already changed the game, but AI is taking it to another level. The more traditional CapEx, OpEx models that we've seen in the past, where clouds were done on a multi-building cycle, finance teams already struggled with that. And they were always trying to map that back to sort of yearly budgets then as well. It was always messy and it was always really hard to have that conversation with them. We used to worry about reserved instances and simple pay-as-you-go comparisons. Now you've got to take consideration token-based pricing, GPU consumptions, inference versus training costs, data egress, model selection implication, experimentation budgets that can spiral ludicrously fast. And here's the thing. Architecture decisions now have direct commercial implications, and they will do for the future. You pick the wrong model, the wrong hosting strategy, the wrong data movement pattern. That's not a technical problem. That's a P&L problem. So architects, we need to think about technology strategies, a financial modeler, and a commercial advisor all at once, which is not an easy thing to do. Cost is not a late-stage operational concern anymore. It's an architectural concern from day one. And if you're not thinking about costs, you're really not doing architecture correctly in 2026. Architecture rule boundaries, they're now gone. Now, this one hits close to home for me. I'm a technical architect. I was SRE by trade, but a lot of what I do is sort of senior leadership technical architecture. But I also do solution architecture and now enterprise architecture. And honestly, the lines between all three of those are getting thinner by the day. Enterprise strategy now affects delivery design immediately. Technical design choices shape business outcomes. Solution architects need platform security, data, and operational awareness. The model for neat little boxes, enterprise, solution, technical, that's under serious pressure at the minute. AI and cloud have shortened the distance between strategy and implementation detail. So what does this actually mean in practicality? It means that you can't just be a technical architect who doesn't understand the business. And also you can't be an enterprise architect who never actually built anything before. Their role is moving from specialist silos to connected architectural leadership across strategy, design, delivery, and now operations as well. If you're still defining yourself as only one of those boxes, you're going to get left behind in this world. I'm sorry, but that is true. Architects now span the whole life cycle. This one is massive. Architects used to have to design something, hand it over, and then move on to the next job. And that was it done. Now we're expected to shape the deals in pre-sales, estimate and scope solutions, assure delivery, support transition operations, advise on service metrics and optimization, help manage services, evolve platforms over time. Why? Because the client wants continuity. AI and cloud services aren't one and done implementations anymore. They're continuously evolving services. The architect is no longer just a designer of change. We're stewards of outcomes across the entire customer lifecycle. And that means you need commercial skills, commercial credibility, operational empathy, not just technical depth. If you can't hold a conversation with a CFO or a service delivery manager, that's a gap, and that's a real one that you will get caught out on at some stage. Knowledge is cheap, judgment is everything. This is a big one. The one that changes pretty much everything. AI can now give you platform documentation summaries, architectural pattern, security principle, migration options, integration approaches, comparative analysis, essentially instantly. You don't need to wait like 3 weeks for a meeting with 5 different subject matter experts anymore. But, and this is the critical but, that does not eliminate the need for experts. AI gives you first pass information, but context, edge cases, organizational constraints, risk validation, regulatory interpretation, these still need people. AI reduces the cost of accessing knowledge, but it increases the importance of verifying relevancy, accuracy, and context. So architects value, it's no longer about knowing things, it's about knowing what matters. It's about judgment. And I'll be blunt, if your entire value as an architect was, I know stuff other people don't know, that advantage is evaporating fast. So look, AI makes architecture faster, but it also makes bad decisions easier to scale. Speed without governance is just accelerated risk. I don't think the architect disappears. I think the role gets sharper, less about producing diagrams, more about making decisions, balancing trade-offs and being accountable for the outcomes. The architect's differentiator is no longer documentation volume, it's decision quality. If you're an architect watching this, the question isn't, will AI replace me? The question should be, which part of my value are still uniquely mine? And honestly, in the AI age, architecture becomes more human in the places where we trust for accountability where it matters most. All right, that's me. Let me know in the comments what changes you think you're seeing in the roles of architecture. I genuinely want to hear this because it's so relevant to me and what I do on a daily basis. Please like and subscribe for all the usual channels and all the usual places. I've been Dan Murphy. This is TalkTechToMe. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.